Let's go.
Let's see. This, Bueckers, Ovi. Droid's actually here and not working his tail off, even though he's probably going to do that later. The dog is back. Oh, boy.
You know what I got to say about all of this right about now for everybody?
I'll say it for you. Let's go.
Who moved the button in the damn truck? Oh,
You
I
did.
got it.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Let's get it together!
We're back.
Ah, hell.
Good morning. Welcome to the Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This first hour is powered by Deemed Fit, made by first responders for first responders. Go to Deemed Fit and use the code SITM for 15% off your first purchase. And our first hour is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Go to invadercoffee.com. Use the code Snowman and get 15% off of your percent off of your order. It's only when they're Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. The Snowman is here along with the droid, the dog, and Vicala. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Tired. Otherwise, we call it the Four Kings.
We four kings of Orient are back.
I feel like I'm a card away from a straight and I pull a 5.
See,
well, you got 4 of a kind. You still
that would be my luck. That would be my luck. All right, little housework here. Last week was an impromptu week off. We were all tired. We were all going through some stuff. I finished my my wound care duties and completely healed from my amputations. I got more on that in a few moments. The dog is back. Droid is back, and Droid's just plain tired because he's at Topeka Public Library this morning.
The Topeka Shawnee County Public Library.
Okay. And of course, Vicolon joins us from Chicago. Lots to get to, lots to yell about, but I'm going to start by doing this. After being healed completely from 2-toe amputations over the course of a year and a half, and also, y'all know Friday was my anniversary of my cancer surgery 3 years ago. Cancer-free, been in remission since February of 23. There's one person I need to shout out in this first segment, and y'all know who that is. That is my beautiful wife, Jody, my Dr. K, my everything. 7 years ago this summer, Dr. K and I met, and I was to the brink of stepping over that mountain ledge and not coming back. To use the words of my buddy Wayne Larrabee, Jody raced the clock and got to me in the nick of time. It's like she pulled me back and said, I don't know you, but I need you. So Jody swooped into my life, turned my heart upside down, and has been by my side, 10 toes down ever since. When I had blood clots in both my lungs, another lady that came into my life, my daughter Sonia, got to call 911. Then Jody raced in, told them what was going on, and Jody and Sonia and my family were by my side throughout the whole procedure where I had blood clots in both my lungs. A month after that, in 21, I got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Duke University Cancer Center said there was nothing they can do for the tumor. Jody said, So we moved back here to Indiana. She started working. We got health insurance because of that. Met my oncologist in February of 22. He said, let me make a phone call. And he made the phone call to the fellow that would perform the surgery to save my life, Dr. Attila Nakib. All that wouldn't be possible without Jody. All that wouldn't be possible without my Dr. K. She is my one and only. She's the only woman, and the guys and I were talking off the air. She's the only woman that can zing the hell out of me and have me laughing forever. You all got to see her when we did the Super Bowl. She's been on with us a couple of times. We have plans of doing a podcast together. We just got to get some things settled. But man, I'll tell you what. The biggest reason I wanted to do this, to open the show, was because I am doing everything I can to bring some funds in so I can get my car repaired and take a lot of pressure off of Jody to get to my games, because Columbus East wants me to broadcast their games. And I know I got sales work to do to get sponsors and everything. But I asked Jody this morning, I said, can I use your truck to get to Columbus East today? And she said, yeah, as long as the game is on. Nothing else. There was no, why do you have to do this? There was no, do you have to do another game? And I'm repeating stuff that I had gotten before I met Jody. Mm-hmm. And there was especially the only thing Jody would tell me is that when I can, put some gas in her truck. That's the only thing she'll tell me. Okay? Because as you all know, I am also disabled. I'm working on getting my legs back under me. She, my wife, helped me stretch yesterday. And oh my God, what a difference it's making. I just have to get more consistent at it. I know that. Man, when Jody and I went to Chicago for the Chicago Football Classic, and two of my longtime homies, Victor and my friend James McCallum, met Jody. All Victor said to me when he pulled me aside and he says, you made the right call. You got the right one. That's all that Victor said to me.
You know what's funny too, Snowman? when your game was going on, I had it on my phone, and I was on my Xbox with a couple of friends of mine. One of my friends' name is also named Blake. We call him Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And he heard you call. He said, "Who is that?" I said, "Oh, that's my friend. He's doing his first on-site game since he beat cancer." He said, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." He had pancreatic cancer. He's like, "What?" He said, "That's an automatic." It's like, "Yeah, that's usually automatic death sentence, but he is still here, alive and kicking." He said, "Your friend is a fighter." He used another word he can't use on airways, but he said, "Your friend is a freaking fighter."
Mm-hmm.
That's appreciated. And as I said, they not only did Victor meet Jody, but also my friend of 4+ decades, James McCallum, met Jody. And as soon as he saw us together, he smiled. And I love this man dearly because he has been my friend for 4 decades. He's always been there to support me, just like Jody. But man, to see the smile on his face when he saw me and my wife, it was just something else. Mr. McCallum, I love you dearly. You're my brother. And thank you for allowing Jody into your life. And thank you all for letting me explain time and time again why Jody is so important to me, why she means so much to me, why I brag on her so much. And I better stop before I start crying.
A little late for that, boss man.
Right?
I just hope
the opening segment's yours, man.
Yes, sir.
I just hope y'all understand how much she motivates me to do this every day. How much she knocks some sense into my head about being organized, and that's why she's the chief operating officer of my company. Pretty soon she's going to be the chief financial officer because we are going to bring some finances in. But man, every other woman I know would have left me when I got diagnosed with cancer. She said we're going to kick its ass. And we did. And I'm always going to say we because my family was there and y'all were there. I wouldn't be here without her. I wouldn't be here without y'all. I wouldn't be here without her or my kids or my grandkids. I wouldn't be here without the crew that I have, including Cole Johnson, who was in the chair the day I had my surgery. Let me shout Cole Johnson out. And it's I know it's too late for me to do this. I know it's too late for me to do this without crying, but so be it. So be it. Cole Johnson, I owe you a ton of thanks. 3 years ago, you took the chair when I was in surgery, putting cancer to an end in my life, and you didn't even blink. You and YSLFA, the playmaker, Victor, and everybody that came aboard that week, including Chris Bass, or that month, because I was gone 2 months before I got back in the chair full time. I cannot thank you all enough for being there for me. And Cole, I cannot thank you enough for a conversation we had Christmas night of 2018 when I was so scared about what people thought of me and Jody being together. When we had that conversation, he asked me 3 questions. He said, does she make you laugh? I said, yes. Do you love her? Yes. Does she love you? Yes. Then what's the problem? When he said that, I went back to bed and Jody and I laughed until morning. I knew I had the right one, and I think everybody else did too. To my buddy Darrell Owens, Legacy Maker Sports Network, man, I tell you what, this is another brother who was there when I met Jody. This is just one of the guys, and I'm sorry, y'all. Darrell, I know I owe you a baseball game back there in Virginia, and we'll do it. I promise we'll do that. But Darrell was the first person I called after I met Jody. And I'll never forget, my first sentence to him was, Darrell, I think I found the one for me. And when I told him about Jody, all he said was perfect. All he said was perfect. And I thank everybody that has supported Jody and I over the past 7 years. I thank everyone that has been there, stayed there, locked arms with me and Jody and my family, and said, we're not going anywhere. All of my old classmates have basically said the same thing. And they all said, you deserve to be happy. I am deliriously happy when it comes to my wife. She is a football fan. She supports me being a sports nerd. She's pursuing her doctorate, and I can't wait for her to get it. And I can't wait for her to open up her practice. And I made her a promise of a 50th wedding anniversary. It'll be 55 before I'm done. I made her that promise, and I'm going to keep it. I have a long way to go to get healthy. I have a long way to go to get walking again. But I promise you, Jody, honey, we're going to take that walk on the beach several thousand times. We're going to take that walk around Levi Stadium. We're going to take that walk around Lucas Oil Stadium when we meet Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts. And just make sure we see any and everything. That's why I have the GoFundMe out for the Snowman Stadium tour. And I have the second one out to get repairs done on my car so I can get back to work and continue to support this family the way they have supported me. Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean I'm unable. So Jody, honey, this entire first segment is for you. I love you. I'm not going to stop loving you. I'm not going to stop being there for you because you never stop being there for me. You never stop trusting me. You never stop motivating me. You never stop being you. I love you for who you are. And I love you for everything that you've done and what you're going to do. Whatever plans we have for the new house we're going to get, go with it. Just go with it, honey. Just as you told me to go with it when it comes to putting Snowman Multimedia together and making it a multi-million-dollar company. Jody K, I cannot love you enough. And cannot tell you, how did Tupac put it? There's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand you are appreciated. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Dr. K, for everything. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. Thank you all for allowing me that first segment. I truly appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone that has supported this show, which is now incredibly in its 11th season. You know, folks said, oh, you won't last a year or 2 years. When I started this show back home in Chicago with just a computer and a microphone and a mixer. And here I am with a full crew. Cole Johnson's my executive producer. Dr. K is our producer here in studio here in Indiana. And here we are in our 11th year.
For some crazy reason, you got me in the truck.
Man, look, you told me when I started this thing, you said, you got to get me on with you. It wasn't a question. It wasn't a plea. It was a demand. And I said, what? And all Shane said was, trust me. Here we are, 11 years later. And Victor, I know you have to tell the people what you mean to me. You've been by my side as my engineer for a long time, since the day we met, basically.
Through thick and thin, I ain't going nowhere.
And this fella here, Droid, my on-screen son, who is as crazy as my real son, Dakota. And Dakota, I love you with all my heart, pal. This guy here, Droid, and I mean this very kiddingly, he thought that he could act like my kid. And he said, look, I'm giving you a schedule and you're going to follow it.
And yet you didn't.
Right.
Not even close.
Listen, as soon as Joy put that schedule in my hand and I said, okay, I'm going to do it, my body looked at it and said,
Listen,
But
and the thing is, the Final Four wasn't even worth looking at this year.
it really wasn't. It really was.
That's for later.
We'll do that at the top of the second hour. Right now, I need to give Droid the floor because, well, first, let me introduce the Hockey God. And Dominik Hasek, have a seat.
No.
All yours, partner.
I was about to say I had something even better for Dominik, but I'll save that.
Lord. So, for those that don't know, hockey history was made yesterday afternoon, where Alexander Ovechkin scored the 895th goal of his career, passing Wayne the Great One Gretzky for most goals in a single career, becoming the greatest goal scorer in NHL history.
Yep.
The undisputed goal scorer
a new champ
in NHL history. He stands alone at the top.
Yep.
Now, many legends have congratulated him, including Gretzky himself, including
Who was there?
Yager,
Who was there?
Fedorov. Fedorov, unfortunately, was not there, but Fedorov congratulated him. I'm pretty sure if Keith Kachuk congratulated him. You even had Sabrina Ionescu congratulating him.
Yep.
WNBA, who's going to be a WNBA Hall of Famer, by the way.
She sure is.
Caitlin Clark also was one of them, but NHL legends like Marty Brodeur, Brett Hall. You had many goaltenders congratulating him, including Henrik Lundqvist, Marc-Andre Fleury, Ilya Sorokin. The goal that was scored on him, he congratulated Ovechkin on 895.
Yep.
But there was one goaltender who decided to deter away from everybody else.
To make it about himself.
But before you go there,
not about himself.
hey
but
Droid.
about politics.
Hey Droid. Before you continue, here's the record breaker. That's called by John Walton from the Washington Capitals.
Crisscrossing with Chikrin through center. Send in Wilson on the flank. Cross ice. Ovechkin fires. Score! The chasing days are done. Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
Get him.
Dominik Hasek, and I will say this, said,
Hang on. I got you. Hang on a second. He said, quote,
in the coming days, a Russian citizen who has never condemned the Russian imperialist war in Ukraine will break the NHL goal scoring record. Because this person has never officially condemned the Russian war and Russian crimes, he will have to live with the knowledge for the rest of his life that because of his public appearance, his game last 3 years and 40 days since the beginning of the Russian aggressive war, a huge number of people, including his fellow Russian citizens, were killed and maimed in the war. Whether he is happy about it, indifferent to it, or sorry, we do not know. However, what we do know for sure is that the NHL not only enabled him to do this, but even supported him in doing so for 3 years and 40 days. Therefore, the NHL bears enormous responsibility for the hundreds and thousands, maybe millions of people killed and maimed in the Russian war in Ukraine. The NHL must pay for this. I would also like to point out that countries in which this Russian citizen was allowed to play NHL games also bear responsibility for people killed and maimed. That is the U.S. and Canada. There are the facts people share. These are the facts. People share so that people understand what responsibility the NHL, the country USA, and Canada bear, and so that the advertisement for the Russian imperialist war is stopped. Together, we could save many human lives. Now I'm going to cut you off right there, Dominik Hasek.
If that wasn't
quote,
that wasn't the biggest bowl of BS grandstanding that I've ever heard in my life.
Listen, if you want to go after Alexander Ovechkin, like that in politics, say that to maybe, I don't know, the Russian president's face and see what happens. But try other athletes and see how that will end for you. Try some of the MMA athletes, the Russian MMA athletes.
He'd end up getting his goalie paddle shoved up his Putin.
Yep.
Listen, just because multiple Russian athletes have cried for the war to stop does not mean Ovi doesn't. And I'm going to make that very clear. But to disregard a record being broken just because he's Russian is what I call something that America dealt with for years. And I'm going to avoid the word as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot disregard a record being broken just because of the country that they were born in. Alexander Ovechkin has been in America since 2008. When he was drafted by the Capitals on April 6th. He has been in America and is an American citizen as well. He gained that American citizenship years ago. I think he played maybe a few years in Russia. He goes back to see family. But overall, he lives in America. I don't care if you're Estonian. I don't care if you're Czech. I don't care if you're Danish. If you break a record, you should be acknowledged for it. Dominik Hasek, don't make this about politics, especially being Czech. If we're gonna go that route, you're Czech. You can't have any say about Russian war. You want to go that route? You want to go that route? Because if you're gonna go the route, oh, he's Russian, he should be condemned for, he shouldn't be congratulated for breaking the record. Oh, you're Czech. You can't speak on this. Next. We can play that game if you want to play that game. But you doing this on a special day in NHL history has ruined your legacy, and you will know, and may you not be remembered for years to come. And I can already see what you would say if you saw this. You would try and pull the "who are you" card. You don't need to know who I am. All right, you don't. You don't need to know who I am to know that what you did was immature and inappropriate. That is simple as that. Unacceptable behavior. I'm not going to sit around and ignore the other people who bring politics into sports either. There are plenty of people who bring politics into sport. To go and publicly tweet that is going to be, they should, I'm not going to say they should revoke your Hall of Fame, but you're going to be remembered for that tweet. Understand that. You're going to be remembered for not giving the grade 8 his credit when he deserved it. It's not like he came out of nowhere. You knew his existence. And yet you still diminish it by trying to bring politics into this. I know even if the Russian war wasn't happening, you'd still find some bullshit excuse to not congratulate Ovechkin. Because it's just how you are. You can't congratulate people on what they've achieved. You're like a shitty father.
Ooh.
Not congratulating his kid on getting a good grade or congratulating his kid on winning states or something as big as that.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure you are a father. You know, maybe you'll finally see that the tweet was unnecessary. You don't need to tarnish a man's legacy just because you're unhappy with what's going on in a country that you're not involved in. Innocent people are dying. I understand that, but that gives you no right to tarnish a man's achievement just because he's Russian. Because if we really want to go that route, I could say, "Oh, Sergei Fedorov, your legacy in Detroit means nothing because you're Russian and you're not supporting against Russia in the war against Ukraine." You hear how stupid that sounds? Andrei Vasilevsky, you should lose your rings because you're Russian. Nikita Kucherov, you should do the same. Alexander Ovechkin, you shouldn't break the record because you're Russian. You sound like a Twitter nerd. You sound like a keyboard warrior.
That's what it is.
Hey, look, I love Ovi and Fedorov and anybody that plays the game of hockey, no matter what country they're from, and can play the game the way that they play the game. Gretzky, Super Mario, Grant Fuhr, Ovi, one more time. Jonathan Taves is from Canada, folks. 3 Stanley Cups. Go on, Droid.
Listen, are you tarnishing Austin Matthews because his president is Trump? No. Are you tarnishing Crosby's legacy because of the Canadian Prime Minister who did blackface? No. So why are you doing the same with Ovi?
Relevancy. He wants to stay relevant. He needs to be relevant.
Sounds like LeBron.
There you go.
That's next.
This is classless.
Very classless.
And the thing is, when I saw that you weren't on NHL Network congratulating Ovi, I was a little surprised until I saw the tweet. And then I realized, oh, even the NHL doesn't want to show you as a face. And you want to know something funny? Dominik Hasek's rookie card dropped by 25% in value. I think the rookie card was, what, $300? Somewhere around, dropped to $217, I think. Almost losing a third of its value. You're ruining your own legacy trying to tarnish another's. Grow up and move on. Now get the f- out of the chair.
Yeah, you could tell that's a plea for relevancy. You just couldn't let Ovi have it his way. You know, even if let's say he did, you know, speak out against Russia. What difference does that make?
None.
What difference is that? Do you think Putin's gonna say, "Oh, obviously he doesn't like the fact that we're committing this war. Let's stop. Let's pull back." No. That's not how that works, little boy.
Dear Dominik Hasek,
you're screwed. Yeah, you're totally screwed.
He's a clown. In fact, I would say that just for that tweet, Hasek has gotten his degree from Antonio Clown Academy. The only clown you can be.
There's another academy where he went from. Hit it.
So I realized that I think
Put the blame where it
is
belongs.
not advertised.
Right.
There has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it, like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, get all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Aminos, dominos, vamonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
no wonder their hockey team hasn't won in 67 years.
And won't either. A pause, and when we come back, I have a little cussing to do of my own.
Oh, no.
Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E. Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Coming up later tonight, it's Columbus East Baseball as they will host the Warriors of Scottsburg. We'll have that live on Snowman Sportsnet beginning at 5:45 Eastern Daylight Time. The first pitch will come your way at 6:05, and yours truly will have the call. Lots more to get to, including the domination by the UConn Lady Huskies, a preview of the men's national championship, and Jay Spivey will join us. And we still got more stuff. But there's a certain group that I have a bone to pick with. And since we didn't get to him last week, all this week. We're gonna have some fun. Hit it.
Oh hell.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Give me this camera, goddammit. Shut up. Give me this camera, goddammit.
Oh no.
Do we have to?
Yes, yes, we do.
I'm gonna punch you in the throat because you know you want a part of this too. There's a list in front of me.
Oh no.
Players with the most final series averaging 25, 5, and 5.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. And they have Michael Jordan at third with 3 of them. You know who was up top with 7 of them. I'll stop right there. To whoever posted this list, you ignorant son bitch. Michael never averaged 25, 5, and 5. He averaged 35, 5, and 5, you stupid idiot.
You know they're going to do anything they can to inflate the numbers of their king.
Right.
But I hate the fact that they have still gone this.
I get it.
Does this shirt tell you anything?
Yeah.
I get it.
And guess who found it for me?
Jody did.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Let me move on from that, because if I start going off on numbers,
I hate to tell you something, but we all know what their problem is when it comes to certain things.
Yep.
It's this.
This moment of bronze-sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronze-sexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KANG. Real LJPN. Now approve all this.
And somehow it's still being paid for by the city fifth.
I don't know.
Let me move on. Now, I normally do not point out the ladies who are knee deep in Brown Joy Juice. And I'm sorry, Sick Diggy, I have not found that ad yet, but I intend to find it during the next break.
Oh, dear.
In this case, however, I'm going to make an exception.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay. Kendra Thompson put a post in front of me.
Oh, no.
That puts LeBron's stats versus Jordan's stats. And she says levels ... for this goat emoji. I'm not even going to read the numbers.
Okay.
I am just going to say that LeBron's numbers are inflated, bloated, and false. Why? Because he's a fabulous athlete. While that is true, he sucks at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Who was dumb enough to say that?
A whole bunch of people. I won't get into that list yet.
Well, you know what?
You're fired. Thank you.
Every last damn one of you.
And I decided to respond to this. Don't ask me why. I just felt it.
So you ended up having conversations with bronzesexual.
You felt it in your spirit.
I felt it in my spirit and in my soul. So
Why did you do this?
So I had a conversation with a lady bronzesexual.
What you
mean?
Thank you. And that's probably the look on her face. You know, I hate this group. Period. Point blank. End of story. I hate this idiotic group of people that praise, and I'm saying it lightly. One athlete, if you could really compare the numbers, not just to MJ, but to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to George Gervin, Alex English, Adrian Dantley, and many, many others, they don't measure. Okay, you can play 22 seasons and have the most points all time, all you want. Okay,
But
LeBron has only 4 rings. MJ has 6. Robert Horry has 7. Bill Russell has 11. You dumbass.
The reason why there's so many idiotic fans in the NBA is right here.
Yes, LeBron, it is you. It has always been you. It always will be you, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I responded and I said,
"Oh, you looking for this?"
Quote, Kendra, stop it. Just stop it. Just because he's played 22 seasons does not mean he's the best. Hell, in my book, it's not even top 300, if top 300. He's a great athlete, but he sucks and blows as a basketball player. Hashtag Snowman says. Close quote. Now, find the lie. Okay? Find the lie. Y'all need to quit. Okay? I'm going to use a phrase that my wife uses. Okay? And it's pretty simple. Bronsexuals, quit that shit. Just stop.
You know what?
Because I'm going to say something very cruel. I'm going to say something very crazy. I'm going to say something that'll piss bronsexuals off even more than the day I said LeBron James is trash 3 years ago. Live on the air.
I mean, it's true, but
we know it's true. You know what, bronsexuals? Take the joystick out of your mouth and wipe the juice off of your face, will you please?
That's not possible.
I know, but you can make a plea, can't you?
No.
True.
You do what I do when it comes to Cowboys fans. It doesn't work.
Man,
I know.
You'd be better off telling all the Braun fans this.
Shut up, bitch!
Can't even tell them that either.
I know, but still.
Listen. Y'all bronsexuals just need to quit that shit. Please. Just quit that shit. Because you have no idea what the absolute... Give me this button. You have no idea what the absolute bloody you are talking about. You praise and worship a man that's played 22 years. Fine. You praise and worship a man that has over 40,000 points. Fine again. Did you forget the fact that he also leads all time in turnovers? Did you forget the fact that he has 2 less rings than MJ? Did you forget the fact that MJ is undefeated in the finals? Did you forget all those facts? Yeah, you forget them all. You forget them all the time.
Did you forget the fact that MJ never needed a game 7 in the finals?
You're like Cowboys fans wishing for another Super Bowl. That ain't gonna happen. And I'll pick on the Moronic Republic later, leaving Victor out of it.
You mean we're gonna end up doing this?
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
You may need to hit the other one in a minute.
I've got it ready.
Just do me a favor, bronsexuals.
Stop the cap.
Just
stop the cap.
Because every time y'all post something stupid on social media and it finds me, I think, are you kidding me? Unfortunately, Paul, I'm not. And then some of these posts that I see, I take a look at. It finds me. I look at it, see the person who wrote it, and I think, he did what? And I got a new one for y'all that I'm going to unleash, and I'm going to do it now. I just don't understand, bronzexuals. I just don't understand how you can be so blinded. And I mean that, blinded by just this. And then you go and post numbers that say he's better than MJ. And y'all know me, I'm a research maven. I am a madman when it comes to research. Victor knows because I've gone through a lot of paper through the printer when I do my research. I look at the numbers, I compare the numbers, and I think,
how do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
Those numbers are more inflated than what Big Orange over at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is throwing out for tariffs.
those numbers actually aren't inflated. Bronze numbers are. Okay? Just stop it, okay? Just stop it. Y'all don't have a leg. Oh, dear God, here we go with the jokes. Y'all don't have a leg to stand on.
You want to know why they don't have a leg to stand on?
Why?
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
You know what, bronzexuals, why don't you tell Yo Kang to take off the number 23? Because he does not deserve to wear number 23. No one else does ever again. Okay? You don't. LeBron does not deserve to wear number 23 because he has no idea what wearing that number means.
It's like 42 being retired in MLB.
Correct. The last person who wore 42 in MLB, the legendary Mariano Rivera, actually revered Jackie Robinson. And that day is coming up very, very soon. And I can't wait.
Wearing number 42 from the bullpen, Mariano Rivera.
Just to actually think, and I'm incorporating a very dear friend into this conversation also, to actually think that you all know what you're talking about.
Now that's some bullshit.
Thank you, sir.
You know what?
Stop it. Get some help.
Even better. As I said, to you bronzexuals who actually have the nerve to believe that Bron is better than MJ or anybody else that preceded him.
Now that's some bullshit.
And then with some of the posts.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
I'm done. Get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned.
Hold up. Playmaker, you're right. This is getting old fast. It's been old for a long time.
False start offense.
Both sides, and I'll include myself in the conversation because I love Michael Jordan, need to just shut the up and chill. By the way, dear bronzexuals, you. Dear social media for letting these crazy people on, you. And to all the networks that have shoved them down our throats and up our asses for 22 years, you, and you. And I'm done. Get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzexual Confessions.
Man, Playmaker's right. This is getting old. This has been old. And this week may be the last week that we do them for a long while. Because it's the same damn arguments. And again, to Playmaker, thank you for pointing this out. It's old and it's stupid. Second half of Snowman in the morning after this.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Second half of Snowman in the morning on this Manic Monday, returning after a week off. We hope y'all are enjoying it. And fellas, I'm going to invoke a subject that I love talking about.
Okay.
And that is Connecticut women's basketball putting a foot in everybody's ass.
Oh, dear Lord, did they ever do that?
Not surprising.
No, it's not surprising, but it was fun to watch.
That's true.
That team was dialed up this year.
Hey, it was fun to watch. And it wasn't just Paige Bueckers either. Sarah Strong, who's going to be fabulous coming back next year. AZ Fudd, Jana L. Alfie. After they, and Gino said it yesterday, Gino Auriemma, the 40-year head coach at UConn, said, we lost a scrimmage. I didn't think we'd make the tournament. Well, Gino, you couldn't have been more wrong.
Mm-hmm. And how?
And then, of course, the Nike commercial that came out after they won the championship was just chef's kiss.
And a chef's kiss to Paige Bueckers.
I'm going to watch it again because, man, that was amazing.
It was.
You know what? I might have to grab it. What do y'all think? I might have to grab it and play it.
Yes.
If I get a chance, if we don't do it today, we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
But man, 6 games for UConn in the tournament. Wait a minute. This all started with their Big East season, which they rolled through at 18-0. They were 18-0 in the Big East season.
Undefeated.
Yep.
They beat the hell out of everybody in the Big East tournament by double digits. And then they rolled through the tournament. They rolled through the NCAA tournament. I'm going to take a look at their schedule because they finished the year, if my knowledge is correct, 36-3.
Oh my God.
36-3. And playmaker, I knew about UConn.
Boss.
Look.
37-3.
37. Okay, because 37 was the national championship. Hey, listen, Playmaker was right about UConn. And I knew about UConn going into the tournament. Because when we did our picks for the tournament, in which mine got blown sideways early, I mean this very metaphorically. They killed people.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm
After
looking
they
at the
lost 72-70 in Hartford to, at the time, number 7 USC.
Mhm.
And they hadn't played. They had played one Big East game to that juncture, and they destroyed Georgetown. Matter of fact, let's go through it. They lost to Notre Dame in South Bend at 78-69. They lost to USC, and then they were blowing people. They blew out Providence by 26, beat Marquette by 32, Villanova by 31. They beat Xavier. Listen to this score. They beat Xavier 81-27. They blasted Georgetown again. They blew out St. John's, and all of these are by at least 20 points, folks. They creamed Villanova 100-57.
Oh my God.
Their closest game was against Creighton, where they only won by 11. And I say only 11. They won 72-61. They lost at Tennessee. That was their final loss of the year, 80-76. And then nearly came back and won that game. But game I want to point out is February 16th, the game that we had here on the network, where they went to, at the time, number 4 South Carolina. And I had people telling me that South Carolina was going to keep it close. And they also said they wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina pulls out the victory. I said no.
They didn't.
And they were like, why? I said UConn's going to cream South Carolina. 87-58.
Yep.
That game sent the Huskies on their way to the national championship.
Let's not downgrade anything else here by the teams they faced in the tournament, but outside of one game, UConn scored 80 or more points, and that one game was against USC, where they still ended up winning 78-64.
78-64. The Big East Women's Tournament, where they drew a double bye, they beat St. John's by 31. They beat Villanova by 28. And they beat Creighton by 20. Oh, and by the way, all those games were in the state of Connecticut, Mohegan Sun Arena. Okay.
And then came the NCAA tournament.
Then came the NCAA tournament,
where they
Arkansas State and they hosted the first 2 rounds at Gamble Pavilion. All right.
It slapped Arkansas State.
They blitzed Arkansas State. Matter of fact, I think the first score was like 34-5 after the first quarter. And I woke up late that day because I had planned to do it.
Yep, 34-5.
I planned to do that game.
And they absolutely jack slapped them.
And my wife said, aren't you supposed to be doing a game? And I was late. I peeked at the score just to see what was going on and how fast I can get here in studio and do some prep and get on air. I looked at that first quarter score and I said, baby, I have no reason to do that game. She turned, before she walked out the door to the bedroom, she froze, turned around and said, what? You're turning down a women's basketball game? Why? I said, I have a very good reason. You know what the score was at the end of the first quarter? She said, what's that? I said, 34-5. She goes, oh, shit.
Game over.
Yeah.
Then
That's
hung
GG, gentlemen. That's GG's.
They hung 91 on South Dakota State, beat them by 34. Oklahoma had Connecticut down at the half by, I want to say 4. The third quarter, Connecticut's had enough playing around.
Yeah, it was 4 at the half for Oklahoma.
They were down 4 at the half, 36-32. And these were the regionals in Spokane, Washington. And UConn said, okay, enough of that. Oh, by the way, Paige Bueckers, that game, 40 points.
Jeez.
40 points. And me and Mike Drop Moran were talking because remember, I think Mike Drop Moran picked UCLA to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think so, yeah.
She picked UCLA. And I said, they better be beware. They better beware of Connecticut. She says, why is that? If they run into Connecticut, Connecticut's going to wallop them. Beat USC by 14, 78-64. And quite honestly, that game wasn't even close. I know they were trying to do it for Juju Watkins. All right. Blessings to Juju Watkins. I hope you come back better next year. I really hope so, because it was so devastating when they lost Watkins for the remainder of the year.
I watched the replay of that injury, and that looked really freaked, to be honest.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
Yeah.
That really freaked me out. I started crying when they were carrying her off the floor. Because I hate after look, me being in broadcasting for as long as I have, 30 years, I've seen gruesome injuries. That injury was more gruesome than any injury I ever watched.
Yeah.
That injury was gruesome.
It wasn't even really that much of a play to begin with. She's just, going down floor, and the next thing you know, she tries to stop, and the knee just says no.
Yeah. Her knee locked. All right. And when it locked, I said, oh my gosh. Playmaker brings up this point. UConn beat the top two programs by a combined 66 points.
That says everything.
34. I think the total is 67. It may be 67. I don't know. But look, UConn did something that only
a handful
Arizona in 1997 on the men's side was able to do. They knocked down not one, not two, but three number one seeds.
Yep.
Knocked them all out. Three number one seeds went down at the hands of UConn. USC, UCLA, and South Carolina. All three of them were number one seeds. UConn was the only 2 seed that got to the Final Four, and they pushed the plunger and blew them all to smithereens.
Yep.
They pushed the plunger and blew them all to smithereens. RC in basketball joins us. Says Snow could a perfectly healthy Juju Watkins and USC taking down this year's dominant UConn team? Hell no. Not the way you. And here's the way UConn won. Here's the way UConn would have. Here's the way UConn beat those 3 number one seeds as well as everybody in the tournament. It wasn't from the perimeter. They sliced into pieces on the inside.
By the way, I did the math. The top 3 seeds, all number ones, fell by a combined 71.
USC beat UConn in the regular season. Yep, beat him by a deuce, and you don't beat Gino twice. You don't give coaches like Gino Auriemma a second shot, because they will figure it out and they will pick you apart. And Gino picked these 3 number one seeds apart.
Yep.
I can't even calculate how many inside points that they had against SC, UCLA, and South Carolina. They beat a regular season conference champion in USC. They beat the tournament conference champion in UCLA, and we all know Don Sailor in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Texas to get to the national championship by double digits, and then they got blown to smithereens by double digits by UConn. Now, listen, let me say this: South Carolina will be back. South Carolina, UCLA, and USC, they will all be back next year. All right, they will all be back. But to say they ran into a buzzsaw, big dog, would be an understatement.
You're not wrong there, and I'm doing the math in my head because you wanted to figure out who did what in the paint. It was a combined 16 points difference in the paint in favor of UConn in those 3 games.
Wow.
Combined 16.
Just wow. Remember, this was the first time UConn didn't have to deal with significant injuries. AZ Fudd and Paige Bueckers were healthy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And look at some of the folks that'll be back. KK Arnold, sophomore, she'll be back. Kaden Samuel, sophomore, she'll be back. Ashlyn Shade, sophomore, she'll be back. The fabulous freshman Sarah Strong, who had 26 points and 17 rebounds yesterday. Listen to those numbers again by a freshman. 26 points and 17 rebounds. She's coming back at 6'2". Morgan Shelley, 6'2" freshman. She'll be back. Ice Brady, 6'3", redshirt sophomore. She'll be back. Aubrey Griffin's graduating. You think Ayanna Patterson, 6'2", redshirt sophomore. She'll be back. You don't think Gino can fill the holes that'll be left by AZ Fudd, Aubrey Griffin, and Paige Bueckers, who are all graduating this year, and especially 6'5" center Jenna L. Alfie? You don't think he'll fill those holes and try to make another run at another national championship? AZ Fudd is returning. Uh-oh.
By the way, what the biggest thing I was looking at.
Thank you, Playmaker, for that. Fellas, I know I said this about the Golden State Warriors after 22, and I may have been, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong about that because the Denver Nuggets showed up a year later. Knowing the recruiting ability of Gino Auriemma.
Oh, he's gonna have a class.
Knowing the transfer portal is also active. Olivia Miles, hello. This might be not just this one.
Next couple of years.
This might be 2 or 3. Now, there's a lot of factors that come into play. Yes. Replacing Paige Bueckers is one of them. But dadgummit. I mean, this roster here, they only have to plug maybe 2 holes, get some more height on their side. Well, Ali Zybel, 6 feet tall. Sarah Strong, 6'2". Morgan Shelley, 6'2". Ice Brady, 6'3". What else? Ayanna Patterson, 6'2". Carolyn Ducharme, 6'2". A couple centers and a guard, and that's that.
Pretty much.
Morgan Shelley is going to be a monster for them.
Yep.
Morgan Shelley is going to be a monster for them. Sarah Strong is going to be absolutely ridiculous. After what she did as a freshman in this tournament, pay attention to Lotson from Florida State. If she transferred to South Carolina, then all bets are off. No, they're not. No, they're not. Why? I've said this before, and I say it again. I used to live in Mississippi. I used to live in Missouri. You got to show me. And of course, you all know what I'm about to say next. When it comes to these Lady Huskies, to be the champs, you must unseat the champs.
Woo!
That's what UConn did to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it again. To be the champs, you must unseat the champs.
Woo!
Congratulations, Gino Auriemma, on his 12th national championship. When we come back, Jay Spivey will join us and we'll preview the men's national championship and talk about what the hell happened to Duke in the final 4 minutes in San Antonio.
That was a collapse.
Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
So my wife did a thing
Mm-hmm.
and brought me lunch.
Nice.
Janiyah Lotson is a great player, okay? Yes, she led the NCAA in scoring. Where she lands is going to be key for her.
Yep.
Texas is coming out. Texas may be a destination. South Carolina, of course. LSU, of course. Or, and I know this is a long shot, instead of playing against Gino, she could play for him. We'll keep our eye on that.
Intriguing.
We'll keep our eye on that. And you're right, Playmaker. The transfer portal could shift the balance of college basketball again.
Yes, it could.
He's right about that. But as long as Gino Auriemma's around, he'll make it work. Okay. I promised a take that would burn a lot of people up.
Okay.
And it concerns the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, boy.
Give me this camera. Dear Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, what the were you thinking to elect Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard as a part of the 2025 Hall of Fame class? What is that?
Hold up.
Hold up.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Carmelo and Dwight are going into the Hall. What the blue hell have they done to say they've been Hall of Famers?
Listen,
it's the totality of their careers.
What careers?
What? Yeah, what careers? They haven't done anything.
Man, they haven't done.
The only thing I can say about Dwight Howard is that he was 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. I'll give you that.
What about what Carmelo did with Denver?
What about it? They reached the Western Conference. They reached the Western Conference Finals. Then they got smoked by Kobe and the Lakers. Bye-bye playoff career.
That's nothing to sneeze at, though.
I sneeze at it. I laugh at it. I turn away from it because I'll say it again. Carmelo was doing great in 2009. Got his team to the Western Conference Finals.
And then got beat
Kobe
by
was
Kobe.
waiting and picked him apart.
And okay, so I'll ask this: what team do you have around him?
Victor, I'm gonna smack you. Although Victor does bring up a good point.
That's an honest question.
It is an honest question.
The problem with both Melo and to a lesser extent Dwight. The reason why Dwight got so big in Orlando is because Dwight was basically the better option for defenses because you had so many shooters around him.
Should have stayed in Orlando.
Who could, get on fire real quick. So they're like, you know what? Let's just take the ease. We can battle back from the easy twos.
Let me say it again. Carmelo Anthony, 2009, got to the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers.
Oh,
and then Kobe
that's
happened.
great. First time they've been in the Western Conference Finals since 1985. And then Kobe and the Lakers proceeded to say, "F you and your ticket too," and got him out of there. Orlando was next. Orlando was happy to get to the finals, and I'm glad they got there because they beat LeBron James. Got to the finals. Kobe and the Lakers looked at them, Dwight Howard and all, and said, "F a whole lot of you." Got them out of there. What the hell do they do to deserve a first ballot election to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question for you. Like this. And this.
Stop the cap.
And this. And this. Not a damn thing.
It's also take consideration, again, the totality of the career.
You can put
it's not about, look, we all have agreed that, you want to talk about titles. The average NBA fan don't give two bleeps about that anymore. Why do you think they still are on LeBron's jock?
You just said the perfect
why
word.
Do you think why do you think they still believe in Joel Embiid? Why do you think they still believe in James Harden? Because because whoever is the more popular commodity is what they care about. They don't care about whether they win championships or not because they know most of the time it's going to be stuck within a couple of teams. Lakers, Warriors, Denver may sneak in. Boston right now, the current champs. Everyone else is playing for play-ins at this point.
Let me say this. You know why I knew the Naismith Hall of Fame was going to when they elected Tracy McGrady.
T-Mac.
Facts.
They elected Tracy bleeping McGrady into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Bitch, please.
They elected Tracy McGrady into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Stop it. Get some help.
So then, because again, T-Mac again had a decent career, actually a good one. He was a more popular option. He actually brought a team that was basically irrelevant to relevancy, and that's
I'm getting
really
too old for this.
That's what people are going to look more at than anything else.
True, very true.
They're not going to care about what did they win the title, because they like most teams are not going to win the title. But if you could take a team that was basically nothing but garbage and bring it to some form of relevancy, that's what they're going to look at more than anything else.
Okay.
It begs the question of, what do you consider to be Hall of Fame worthy numbers? Because let's put it this way, and we've talked about this before. How many people look at Roger Craig's numbers and are like, he was on a stacked team, so what?
Look, I'm really going to say some things that are going to piss some people off, but I don't care. Tracy McGrady doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Dwight Howard doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, nor does LeBron James. Period.
So again, the question is, what do you consider to be Hall of Fame worthy?
What do I consider to be Hall of Fame worthy? What kind of impact have you had on the NBA? That's the first question I ask. And about those 4 athletes that I mentioned that think they're playing basketball and they're not, no. And you know what? Where's the bishop at? Where's the bishop?
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
Impact on the NBA is what I look at. And you know someone that should be the NBA Hall of Fame that isn't, because they don't think he made an impact at the forward position? I got 2 words for you. Adrian Dantley.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, the hall's going to be very, 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 very empty. If that is going to be one of the things, because it's very rare, almost impossible to make a impact on an entire league or an entire sport. That is too stringent of a requirement.
Roger Craig did it.
But people will also argue that maybe Emmitt Smith did it before him, or did it better than him, or the same thing Marshall Falk.
Barry Sanders.
You leave those running backs out of this because I love them all. And Victor, I had to pick on you about that because you know I love them. You know a running back they could look at for impact on the league? Thurman Thomas.
Thurman Thomas, yes, that's true.
Put some respect on T-Mac name. No! Give me the bishop again, please.
Oh no.
Put some respect on T-Mac's name.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the
No, and hell no. Give me that again. Give me it again.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
T-Mac does not deserve to be in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, period. He made no impact on the NBA. None. Adam, wait. Kendrick, Nunn. None. You understand me?
Where you go?
You want to put somebody in the Hall of Fame? How about Vince Carter? If he's not there already, and I'll have Dog look that up.
Hang on.
People are going to think that you stopped watching basketball after.
You know who should be? You want to put somebody in the Hall of Fame that deserves to be there? How about Sidney Moncrief, the first player to win Defensive Player of the Award when they started awarding that in 1982? In fact, he won the first 2 of them. How about that?
Vince Carter was inducted last year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that. You know somebody that deserves to be okay. Y'all are pissing me off with this. You know someone that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but will never get there because he doesn't have the numbers? Kurt Rambis.
Kurt Ramble. Kurt Ramble. Glasses
Shut up. Shut up.
Stop it. Get some help.
Kurt
Shut
Ramble.
up, shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Kurt Ramble.
Okay. Okay. Y'all want to do that? Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. I have a few names for you. You know who should get in, but will never get in, even though he made an impact on the NBA? Rick Smits. How about that? Huh?
What?
How about Danny Ainge?
What?
Like I said, how about Kurt Rambis?
What?
How about those guys? How about Adrian Dantley?
What?
How about Mark Aguirre?
What?
I'm gonna say it again. How about Mark Aguirre?
What?
The fun.
How about Sidney Moncrief?
What?
How about a dear friend of mine from Chicago? How about Terry Cummings?
What?
Why aren't they in the Hall of Fame? Why aren't those people that I mentioned in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? I'll tell you why. Because the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame lately does not look at the impact that players have had on the NBA. T-Mac had no impact on the NBA. Carmelo Anthony had no effect on the NBA. And Dwight Howard certainly didn't have any impact on the NBA. Matter of fact, at the tail end of Dwight Howard's career, he sucked.
That is true.
At the tail end of Dwight Howard's career, he was trash. He sucked more eggs than the biggest vacuum cleaner I can lay my hands on. I had another comparison, but I decided not to do it here.
It does not change the fact of what I said before. It is damn near impossible to make a impact on an entire league or sport. So it's going to be if that's going to be the requirement, a lot of people who many deem as worthy are not going to get in.
Oh well,
even ones that you think are worthy. What if someone says that Steph didn't make an impact?
Then I'd go completely off.
Right, but
then I would take over the first hour.
Their opinion saying that
I'd take over the first hour of the show and go completely off.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
People will say, "Okay, yeah, he took a lot of 3-point shots." So,
and RC said it perfectly. They're just letting regular players that were good for a little while, so might as well let everyone in. RC, that's a terrific point.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's a terrific point. And I was wrong about. I'm looking at someone else. I'm sorry. Never mind.
That's a good point. The thing is, again, that you have to look at it from a more realistic means, and that's the thing. And the point is, like, the Basketball Hall of Fame and any Hall of Fame is more like the Mount Olympus.
Okay, you want somebody that made an impact on a team, somebody that made an impact on a team, that made an impact on the league. Steven Jackson made an impact with 2 teams: Spurs, Warriors.
Yeah.
How about that? How about those apples, huh?
Like I said, the thing is that it's not just us. It's gonna be the writers who get to vote this. Just like with the Football Hall of Fame, it's the writers.
It is.
And you're talking about,
and don't get me started with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Oh dear God.
You're talking about at the time, especially like between 03 to 07, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard were 2 of the more popular players. May not have been the best players, but they're the more popular players.
True again.
So this just proves that the Hall of Fame's a popularity contest.
Exactly.
Just like the NBA All-Star game, and I'll get into that later on down the line.
Exactly. It's more about popularity because they're caring about who get to see. Like, Snowman was spitting them names. Unfortunately, majority of the today's fans are like, who?
Okay. Y'all want players that should be in a Hall of Fame that had an impact on the league? Sean Kemp.
Who?
I'm gonna sock you in the throat.
Like I know who Sean Kemp is.
I know. I got the point. I got the point. Trust me.
I gotta give it
had this. Victor, how many times have we had this discussion over beer, chicken, pizza, and more?
Yep. Look, my boy Vance, who was like,
or as you said it best one time, we were talking beer, chicken, pizza, and caffeine.
Yep.
And we were up for the next 2 days.
That's it. My boy Vance, he was such a big Sonics fan.
Yes.
Like he did not
As am I.
at all.
As am I.
Loved the Supersonics. So it will always be, he would be like Sean Kemp or Gary Payton. And I'd be like, Scottie Pippen,
Yep.
It's
yep.
Like I'm saying, unfortunately,
and love the fact that Scotty and MJ are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All right. Love that. Magic and Kareem, Bird and McHale and DJ.
The doctor.
Oh man.
The good doctor.
Julius Erving. My first favorite basketball player. And Playmaker does have a point. It's not just the NBA Hall of Fame.
Overall,
Naismith basketball. Hall of Fame.
So it's
and I
college,
still
Olympic, FIBA.
And I still keep the opinion that Tracy McGrady, Dwight Howard, and Carmelo Anthony do not belong in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. That's Snowman's take. What is yours?
Damn it, where'd the button go?
I don't know. You moved.
I didn't move shit. What are you talking about? Here we go.
Oh, there's a name that should be in the Naismith
KJ.
Basketball Hall of Fame, but isn't. KJ,
yeah.
Mark Price, Brad Daugherty. More on the line about that later. When we come back, hey, Duke, hey, John Scheyer, what the hell happened?
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
They collapsed worse than Rafi Devers at the plate the start of the season.
Youch.
Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E. Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right, we're running out of time. We'll do more of a breakdown tomorrow after the national championship, but I'm going to allow the guys to offer their thoughts really quick for about 30 seconds to a minute on what happened with Duke in the Final Four. And I'll start first. Duke stopped playing. They were up by 14 with just over 8 minutes left, and then right down the tubes. Dog.
Quite frankly, they took their foot off the gas and let them get back into it. And then they collapsed worse than Rafi Devers at the plate to start the season. I mean, it was that historic. You don't give up that many points in that little time going into a national championship game. Duke screwed up. They got their ass handed to them.
Talk to me, Victor.
They quit. They put down the controller and walked away.
Do it again.
They
do
quit.
it again.
They quit.
They put the controller down, got up, and walked out the room.
And it is Houston that's playing Florida tonight for the national championship. Wow. Look up the numbers for me, dog, will you please? It's the Gators and the Houston Cougars for the national championship from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. There it is a 9:10 tip-off time, I believe. I believe it's 9:10. If not,
I'm looking at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Florida's favored by 1.5.
I might be able to bring that to y'all after I'm done at Columbus East. So we'll keep our eye on that. Make your picks in the chat. Who do you got? Do you have Houston or do you have Florida? Dog, you first.
Florida, but it goes into overtime.
Victor?
Yeah, same. Florida, it goes into overtime.
I'm going with Houston. It's a basic case of the irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
And Playmaker, I'm gonna tune in.
Yeah, the Playmaker will have the full breakdown on shooting lights out of what happened to Duke, and I will be tuning in as well, even though I'm going to be running around here like a madman because I have 2 games to prepare for now. Since it's 8:50, you said 8:50.
8:50 on CBS, yes.
8:50. The legendary Iron Eagle will have the call on CBS. They'll have the call also on Westwood One. And old Snowman will bring you the call here, and I'm going to ask Shane to set that link up for me. All right, we got to get out of here because I have to do another interview. I got 2 games to prepare for, and I got to change clothes so I can look my best and make an impression on the kids at Columbus East, which I'm going to do. Let's get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, we're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. And to everybody that tunes into the program every day and has done so for the last 11 years, we love you, and we're going to keep bringing it. So long, everybody. And by the way, James Harden, you a bitch. Bye.
Go